Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, a giant hole taking over a parking lot of a busy Bradenton shopping center.
Shop owners say it's been there for nearly a year, now reaching the size of a vehicle. The hole is in the southeast corner of the Cortez Plaza, just off of Cortez Road in South Bradenton. And that's where ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick is joining us live to explain what caused the hole in the first place and when it might be fixed. Jess.
Good evening, Haley and Scott. This giant hole behind me is something that Manatee County says they are keeping their eye on. However, this parking lot and the drainage system under it that's causing all of this damage is privately owned. So the county says it's up to the company that manages the shopping center to make those repairs. What started as a small crack now looks like this. And every time it rains, shop owners say it gets worse.
This is the fourth time that I have personally seen a problem with the drainage system that runs under this parking lot open up into a sinkhole like this.
But Fred Vandergraaf says typically the holes are fixed in a timely fashion. That hasn't been the case with this one that sits right out front of his coin shop. And this one is taking over several handicap spots. It makes doing business in the area extremely difficult for people like Philip Davis.
I do my laundry here, and I have been doing it here for many years. It is an inconvenience. It would make it easier if they fixed the darn thing rather than just sit there and look at it.
Although it's the largest, it isn't the only hole in the lot.
There's actually several spots in the parking area that are that have collapsed. There's one up by the bank that they're remodeling.
It's the drainage system that's causing these issues. According to Manatee County Public Works, there are 3 of these 84-inch pipes underground that need replaced. A fix that's costly. And Vandergraaf says the management company of the shopping center, Franklin Street, wants the shop owners to pay.
I don't feel that it's right. I tried to talk to them about it, but they do not return phone calls.
Vandergraaf says he's been asked to pay an extra $1,900 for parking lot repairs from 2014 and 2015. That's on top of his annual maintenance fees. They're bills that he refuses to pay. Vandergraaf has hired an attorney to fight Franklin Street's requests.
But he's on standby should they decide to pursue this any further.
Vandergraaf says the replacement drainage pipes were delivered several months ago. They're sitting on the property, and other than their delivery, there have been no signs of repairs. Shop owners and customers are getting impatient.
We've been here 40 years. Our location, our name is well known in the county. I've considered moving to a different location, but it's just not who we are. I hate to see such a beautiful plaza that's always been nice and thriving start to go downhill and really start to look dumpy.
I reached out to the management company Franklin Street several times today. I did not get a phone call back. Now, Manatee County officials say there is an open code enforcement case against them at this point and that they are making small steps to try to repair the parking lot here. I'm told at this point in time they're working on permits. In South Bradenton, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. An Osprey woman faces multiple charges after sheriff's deputies say she threatened rowers and coaches from Sarasota Crew with a firearm. This incident happened where Sarasota Crew practices on Palmetto Avenue at Spanish Point yesterday evening. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies arrested 62-year-old Donna Betts today. She's the wife of guitarist for the Allman Brothers Band, Dickie Betts. She faces 18 separate charges of aggravated assault with a firearm. The report says rowers were getting into the water with their boats when Betts appeared on her dock with a Winchester rifle in hand. The report says she then pointed the rifle at the rowers and said if they came on her property, they would be shot. The incident was captured on a cell phone video and the rifle was recovered. Nearby rowing clubs say they were shocked to hear of the incident.
We've had kids out here on the water for 25 years. So to hear of something like this, of course, our hearts and our prayers go out to anybody who was involved in this tragedy.
Report says coaches have had similar incidents with Betts in the past.
The DeSoto Square Mall in Bradenton has a new owner and a new multi-million-dollar plan on how to turn things around. For years, the mall has been struggling to keep retail stores open and attract shoppers. Recently, the mall was sold for $25.5 million. And today, the new owners are releasing some details on a plan to redevelop the mall to make it a more exciting destination. The plan is to spend $7 million to add new retail stores with canopied entries and 3 new sit-down restaurants. Talks are also underway with a National Movie Theater. The first phase of the renovation project is scheduled to begin next month.
And shoppers on the Suncoast have some mixed feelings about the plan to revitalize DeSoto Square Mall. Many ABC7 viewers are sharing their opinions on our Facebook page.
Robin writes, why on earth would we waste the money? Who's paying for it? Better not be my tax dollars. Terry agrees, saying $7 million will not scratch the surface of what that place needs. Absolute waste of money. But Billy disagrees. He says that he is glad to see improvements coming and hopefully stores and small businesses will return. If you would like to join the conversation, just head over to ABC7's Facebook page. It will take a lot to turn that around, but I guess let's be optimistic and say that maybe it will work.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
We'll keep a watch. All right, let's get a check on our weather now. Beautiful day on the Suncoast. Another one. Nice warm temperatures, Bob.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd probably be a pretty good day to do some shopping because there's not a lot of people in there. They're enjoying the weather today. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures very comfortable this afternoon, upper 70s. Couldn't ask for better weather. High pressure is anchored just off the coast of Florida right now. It's really shut this cold front down, which was very active yesterday throughout the Tennessee Valley, bringing some rough weather there. It is now stationary just to our north. It's not going to have a big impact on our weather at all. This one will, however. There's some big storms out in Texas right now with the potential for tornadoes there, and that will be moving in our direction. We'll talk about the timing of that system heading our way in just a few minutes. Now, currently, we have sunshine, beautiful 77 degrees, humidity comfortable, 60% west wind, that sea breeze at 10, the pressure 2998, falling slightly at this hour. 87, though, look at the inland temperatures, very warm away from that sea breeze. Right now it's 77 at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, all in the 70s right along the coastline because of that cooler wind. 87, though, in Mayaca City, 89 in Arcadia right now, and 86 into Wauchula. We'll have more on that cold front, the second one, coming our way in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The number of passengers who use the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport was down last month compared to the previous year. But as ABC7's Ray Collins shows us, the airport director cites 2 specific reasons.
Some say it's an aesthetically pleasing airport, and for passengers like Michael Cole, it has a lot going for it.
It's a smaller airport. It's easier to get in and out of. The rental car slots are right next to the baggage claim.
Now, despite that, last month, the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport had fewer passengers than the February before. But the airport president says there's 2 reasons for that.
One, in the month of February, last year we're comparing it to a leap year, so we lost one day. That's about 4,600 seats.
And besides the calendar, another issue, Piccolo says, the bad snowstorms up north last month.
Because our traffic is mainly from the northeast corridor, there was a bad storm in February. We lost almost a whole day's of traffic. We lost 11 flights on February 9th. That's another approximately 1,400 seats.
But Piccolo says rest assured the airport is on track for success, and that includes new covered parking planned for later this year. Another reason passengers like Cole remain loyal to SRQ.
I'd much rather pay a little more and have the convenience of landing and departing from here.
At the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, Ray Collins, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Right now, you can learn some more details about a proposed roundabout along Sarasota's Bayfront. State transportation workers are hosting a public information meeting on the improvements at the intersection of US 41 and Gulfstream Avenue. The public is invited to attend and learn some details about the project and ask questions. It is going on now until 7 o'clock at the Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on North Tamiami Trail.
Let's find out if Wall Street's losing streak has ended. ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with more. Richard?
Scott, it was just yesterday I said 8 is enough, and in fact 8 proved to be enough. Had we been down 9 days in a row, and we were not, but had we been down 9 days in a row, that would have been the biggest losing streak since Jimmy Carter was president in February of 1978. But that was not the case. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished with a very solid gain, but an interesting statistic. Yesterday, at the low of the day, the Dow was down by 184 points. Today, at the high of the day, the Dow was up by 184 points. That's a 368-point swing from the low of yesterday to the high of today. Not too bad. Let's take a look at the figures, and impressive they are. There you see the Dow was up by 150 points, almost 3/4% at 20,701.50. That on volume of 830 million shares. The S&P up the NASDAQ, up 0.6%, almost 35 points at 5,875.14. That on volume of 1,694 million shares. And the S&P up exactly the same as the Dow, up 0.73, 17 points at 2,358.57. Well, you may or may not recognize the name Darden Restaurants, but I bet you know the restaurants they own: Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, Seasons 52, and Capitol Grill. Well, as of right now, they're about to add another one. Today, they announced they're spending a cool $780 million to buy a restaurant chain by the name of Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen. Never heard of it myself, but apparently they've got 128 restaurants in 16 states. They're based in Texas, and a lot of people thought it was a pretty good move. The stock today was up by 9.5%. That, folks, is a lot of cheddar, and I have to tell you, that's a very impressive move, whether the market was up or not. 9.5%, pretty darn good.
And I know Cheddar's well. It was one of our staples in college. It was kind of one of the, when you went out and you had like a nicer meal, but it's very affordable and the food's pretty good. So I think that's probably a good move. And Richard, some news on Apple.
Keeps chugging right along. Stock today up again over 2%, up 24% year to date. So if you bought Apple on January 1st, you're a pretty happy investor.
Certainly are.
Yeah.
Richard, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, the disappearance of a filmmaker who spent his career teaching the world about sharks. His family says a diving instructor is partly to blame for his death, and they're now filing a lawsuit.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus later in Health Smart, your heart health, how drinking alcohol affects your risk of certain heart conditions.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
Agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Welcome to the White Buffalo Saloon, where you can dine, drink, and dance the night away. Now introducing a new menu and daily happy hours. Oh, and we also cater and deliver. The White Buffalo Saloon, Sarasota's hottest country dance venue.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
Now to new developments surrounding the death of a filmmaker who died while diving in the waters off of South Florida while making a shark documentary.
Rob Stewart was a fearless filmmaker teaching the world about the ocean's top predator. But just 2 months ago, while filming a sequel to his award-winning documentary titled Shark Water off the Florida Keys, he disappeared. After a massive search, his body was found 3 days later. It's believed he drowned after an issue with an air tank. Now, Stewart's parents and their attorney are filing a lawsuit alleging his dive instructor and boat crew are to blame for his death.
There's no way anyone should ever die the way Rob died. And it's the irresponsibility of the people involved that caused it. Had somebody had their eyes on the water.
So many things went wrong, so many careless mistakes were made, and he would want to make sure that this never happened to anyone else again.
Stewart and instructor Peter Sotis were diving in more than 220 feet of water using new equipment called rebreathers. When they both came to the surface, Sotis reportedly had issues breathing and got onto the boat, but Stewart disappeared. The lawsuit alleges Sotis failed to monitor, keep eyes on, and/or rescue Stewart when they got into trouble. Time now to talk about our weather, and beautiful day.
Yep, not much better than this, really.
Right.
Temperatures upper 70s near the beaches for highs today. A little bit warm inside, say Arcadia, 89 degrees right now.
Really?
That's pretty hot. But along the beaches, mid 70s, upper 70s. So that sea breeze helping things a little cooler there near the coast. The Ventways webcam showing out over Sarasota Bay. Clear blue skies and temperatures pretty nice, and a few boaters out there enjoying relatively calm seas running 2 feet or less, and looks like that trend will continue at least for the next couple of days. Weather headlines pleasant through Thursday, and then we'll start to see some rain late Friday as a cold front approaches. Clearing for the weekend, though, so just in time. Looks like this whole system should be out of here by Saturday early morning. Well, that frontal system located to the north of us now is stationary, extends all the way across the southeast and is not moving south at all. But this is the big storm system now that's causing all sorts of problems now from Kansas, Oklahoma, all the way down into Texas. More on that in a minute. 77 degrees at the Sarasota Brady Airport currently, and as far as the dew point goes, it's 62. Winds are out of the west, that's at sea breeze, and that's at 10 miles an hour. The pressure 29.98 inches, and in Venice it's 74 degrees as a result of that cooler air moving in over the pier. 85 though in Jacksonville, Orlando at 87, 80 now in Miami, and temperatures, you can see that dividing line right there with the colors deepen up there in the oranges and reds. 87 Mayaca City, 89 Arcadia, Lake Placid at 88 degrees, Wauchula at 86, but all into the mid to upper 70s from Inglewood northward through Bradenton right now, and the Gulf water temperature at 74. Well, if you like today's weather, you're going to like tomorrow's weather. Temperatures expected to be pretty similar. Lots of sunshine around, high temperatures, upper 70s near the coast and into the low to mid 80s inland areas. We could see some upper 80s like we saw today. I mentioned that storm system over the central U.S. This is the next big player. It's already causing some problems into Texas, Oklahoma, and up into western portions of Kansas tonight. The area of low pressure will progress toward the east, eventually sweeping this cold front our way. Now, the cold front's not going to cool us off, but it will bring us a much better chance for some much needed rainfall on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Right now, that front is producing some severe weather all the way through central Texas up into the panhandle there and into Oklahoma. That's known as Tornado Alley. These are the watches and warnings. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect in the yellow. Tornado watch in effect to the east of that, covering much of southwest Oklahoma and into Texas tonight, and that will continue to progress toward the east, and it looks as though we could see some rough weather. Right now there are 2 separate tornado warnings in progress as we're speaking right now. This one in effect until 5:45, and another one just to the south near Abilene, and looks like this rough weather again will be a problem for much of the southern plains states tonight, and then progress to the mid-Mississippi Valley throughout the day on Wednesday. Temperatures, a big contrast in temperatures. Kansas City at 53. Dallas, though, a much warmer 79 degrees, and that's where the battleground is between those two air masses. 45 in Toronto, the same in Cleveland right now, and 73 in Washington. For boaters, shapes up to be pretty nice. Once again, a light chop on the bays and inland water. Seas running 2 feet or less, so pretty smooth conditions out there. Winds will start out of the southeast and then switch around to the south and then west in the afternoon at 5 to 10 knots, and it looks like similar conditions on Thursday, although we'll start to see those winds increasing as that storm system approaches. 78 for a high for beaches. Tomorrow looks good. The water temperature, as I mentioned, 74. UV index will stay high. And tides upcoming. Low tide will be at 8:30. The high tide at 2:07. Sunset at 7:46. And sunrise will be at 7:24. Forecast for tonight, mostly fair and warm. Low 60s really, and a normal low for this time of year, upper 50s. The extended forecast on Wednesday calling for a high of 82. I mentioned a little earlier there will be upper 80s inland areas, and the extended forecast calling for now a 40% chance for showers moving in on late Friday and Friday night. And then Saturday should clear out. We'll see partly cloudy skies on Saturday, sunny on Sunday. And then another system will bring us a much needed chance for showers late Monday and into Tuesday morning. Back to you.
Well, welcome the rain. Thank you so much, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now, there's a crash on I-75. This is in the northbound lanes right near the Clark Road exit, but it's not affecting traffic there. Still green on the map there, but just north of there, traffic on the interstate is moving slowly, and then the typical points along US 41 and those feeder roads to I-75. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, studies on the effects of alcohol on heart health have been contradictory. Researchers say that's in part because people's drinking habits are so different. In a study published in the BMJ, researchers made a point to distinguish between people who had never been drinkers and those who used to drink but no longer do. Plus, a category of moderate drinkers and heavy drinkers. Each group had slightly different results, but overall, the findings suggest what other studies have shown, that moderate drinking is associated with a lower risk of several heart conditions. Middle-aged white Americans with limited education are increasingly dying younger on average than other middle-aged U.S. adults. Now, two Princeton economists say the trend driven by the dwindling economic opportunities for that group of people. A loss of steady middle-income jobs for those with only high school diplomas or less has triggered broad problems for this group. Since 1999, white men and women ages 45 through 54 have endured a sharp increase in, quote, deaths of despair. Those include suicides, drug overdoses, and alcohol-related deaths. It's not entirely clear why these trends have affected white Americans much more than they have African Americans or Hispanics, whose death rates are actually improving. Coming up, a new detail on the teen who was working on a plan to attack her high school, what her friends have to say about the 18-year-old and this foiled plot. Plus, the results of a month-long investigation in international waters. The Coast Guard offloads tons of drugs at Port Everglades.
I'm Alan Cohn. The future of public broadcasting. Republican leadership is planning to cut funding to PBS and NPR. How could it impact the Suncoast?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual International Festival of Chamber Music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th.
featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend.
Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-962-4112. That's 1-800-962-4112. Call now, 1-800-962-4112.
We're learning new details about an alleged plot to kill fellow students in a Maryland high school.
Police say Nicole Severio was planning a massacre at her high school. The 18-year-old's father found her diary where she apparently outlined a Columbine-style attack in detail, so he called police. Now Severio's friends are speaking out, saying they knew she had trouble expressing herself, but they never expected this, and some of them did not want to be identified.
It was really unexpected. It was really real. She was a beautiful, caring person that literally cried at the thought of hurting anyone.
Police say there's no evidence of anyone else being involved in the plot. They're still trying to determine a motive. The young student was committed for an emergency mental health evaluation.
The U.S. Coast Guard is showing off a huge amount of drugs seized in international waters. The Coast Guard offloaded around 16 tons of cocaine at Fort Lauderdale's Port Everglades today. The drugs have a wholesale value of $420 million. Coast Guard says the cocaine was seized along Central and South America by Coast Guard and Canadian ships over a 26-day period. Authorities also arrested 30 smugglers who have been turned over to various U.S. attorney offices for potential prosecution. Firefighters in Fresno, California are making sure a giant hay fire does not get out of control. Firefighters say about 100 tons of hay caught fire around midnight inside of a metal shed. No one was hurt, but the fire did send massive flames and heavy smoke into the air, enough to be detected by a National Weather Service satellite. Firefighters do not know what started the fire, but they are on hand to keep it from spreading to another nearby shed.
If you're planning to take a trip to Washington, D.C. anytime soon, be sure to check out the famous annual cherry blossoms. After a very warm February, then a sudden March frost, the National Park Service had been concerned about the fate of the blossoms, but they are in full bloom and they are as spectacular as ever. The blossoms reach peak bloom at the Tidal Basin Saturday. That means 70% of the blossoms were fully blooming. Over the next few days, the blossoms will gradually go from white to a pale pink, and it's a sight that's you can't describe. I mean, the pictures are incredible, but it's just so much more special to see it in person. It's very crowded to see it in person, I'll say that, but it's something, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and then it's always crowded.
But right, but this especially just getting down there at that point, but it's worth it because it's just such a beautiful sight. So glad to hear that they worked out well this year. And still to come on your Suncoast News, more than a dozen dogs recovering from malnourishment.
Sarasota Humane Society explains what they're doing to help the animals recover from being neglected at a Laurel home. Stay with us.
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Amazon Fire TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on the streaming device and download the free ABC7 channel app. Or if you don't have an Amazon Fire TV, you can get one at Amazon.com.
With a top prize of $10 million, the new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery is your ticket to take on the world. The new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery. One of our life-changing scratch-offs offering billions in cash prizes.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans.
The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Fun for the whole family. The 25th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County. Fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment. With headliners, the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Kim Betts, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4. Children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Venice Airport Festival grounds.
When you've been in banking for a long time, it's easy to forget what it was like in the beginning. It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years. We know you need mobile banking and lightning-fast solutions, but sometimes you might just need a helping hand. Any bank can make a transaction, but it takes a little more to make a difference. And that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.